friends and neighbors. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. Hi kids, your old pal Stevie Coyle here, actually starting at noon this time. How did he do it? Volume. That's how I do it. Speaking of volume, have we got the good sounds going here? I don't think anybody's probably even logged on yet. But when we log on, let me know if you're hearing things okay. I suppose I could plug in some headphones to this, couldn't I? Good thinking, Coyle. Next time, I'll give that a try. Well, today is all about baritone guitars. And I have two of them in the shop and another guitar just for comparison so you can hear kind of the difference. Let me jump on, make sure things are happening here. You know the drill. I know the drill. And let's see. Looks like things are happening. Very good. Very good. All right. Oh, let me jump on, make sure things are happening here. Yes, I think we've got good sounds. All right. Well, let us proceed. Thank you for tuning in, all 7 of you. All 6 of you. We lost one. Sorry. I don't think I said a bad word. But tune in if you can. And, feel free to share this with like-minded souls you think might like a little guitar chat from a shop that's got lots of really nice guitars, for which I take absolutely zero credit. I sit here and do my thing. I do email, I change strings, I chat with folks when they come in, and people walk in and bring these fabulous guitars for me to sell. I take zero credit for that, but the fact is I've got some fabulous guitars to show you today, and today are baritone guitars, tuned low. And in fact, speaking of tuning, I probably should. Let's start with, you know what, just for reference, let's start with the sound of a guitar in regular tuning. And I wanted to show you this one, even though this is not a baritone. I wanted to show you this one just because it's a screaming deal in my shop. In a shop like this, we're solidly into 4 figures and mid 4 figures. This particular guitar is a screaming guitar and a huge value, built by a gentleman named John Macquarie. And, come on, Bessie. Did I kill my tuner? How did I do that? Advanced techniques. No, there it is. So I'm going to tune this up to regular old tuning, concert pitch, A440, which it wasn't always, There's quite a story behind that. In fact, I think there's a great movie to be made about how A came to be 440. Oh, this tuner is tricky that way. Oh, I've just screwed myself up, haven't I? Give me a second, kids. That's what I want. Thank you for your patience. I don't know what kind of tuning that other thing was. Well, I'm going to show you these 2 guitars, 3 really, 2 baritones and a regular guitar. I know I've said that a couple of times now. I'm going to try and keep it under 15 minutes. This is going to be the fun size edition, the new fun size edition of the Friday Noontime Webcast from Mighty Fine Guitars. Welcome in Lafayette, California. So here is standard pitch, and this guitar actually sounds pretty beefy. I was telling you about this guitar. It's a Northwood. The gentleman who makes them is called John Macquarie, and he makes this fabulous guitar that's not by this shop's standards, by high-quality handmade guitars standards, not terribly expensive, $2,700 used, lightly used, barely used, low mileage. Big sounds. I'm talking about big guitars today, and some folks, gentlemen of a certain age in particular, I'll say no more, if it ain't a dreadnought, it ain't a guitar. It's one of them girly guitars like Joan Baez played. I disagree with that completely, but sometimes nothing will do but a big guitar. The cool thing about this particular big guitar is it's real wide across the lower bout, nice and deep, so you're getting dreadnoughty tones. Dreadnoughty. But you don't have that wide waist that pushes the guitar up in your lap when you're sitting down, as most of us do, let's face it. And a lot of us play on the couch, kick back, and having a tighter waist means the guitar sits lower, is a little more comfortable for you while you're watching Netflix or Creature from the Black Lagoon. So just to get in your ear the sound of a regular tuned guitar, and now I'm going to jump over to baritone guitars and show you one of those. Here is, I'll play first a guitar by James Goodall. And perhaps you've heard of Goodall guitars. If you have not, let me just say this, that I'm sure James Goodall has made some average sounding guitars. I, however, have never played one. They've all been some flavor of fabulous, and they really have. I think there must be a huge storage unit in back of his place full of guitars that he just never let out into the world because they didn't, for whatever reason, not his fault or his son Luke's fault, didn't turn out great. That's my theory, because all the Goodalls that I've ever played have been big, resonant, huge sounding guitars. Now on that first guitar I played on the Northwood, $2,700, but for you, $2,695. On that guitar, the low string was an E, of course. We had E to E. This one, this low string, oh good, the tuner picked it up, is a B note, B below E. The fifth string is E. And then we go up from there in regular guitar-ish fashion. That's an A. Sing along. A. And I'm taking my own medicine this time and doing what I always tell people to do, and sometimes actually do myself, and that is tune up to a note rather than tuning down to a note. If you tune up to a note, the string isn't going to keep tightening after you release your pressure on after you release the tuner. But it could continue to stretch if you came down to the note. The string could continue to stretch. So it's always a good idea to tune up to the strings. Your old pal Stevie says, always tune up. See, like right there, how I was above and I came back down and snuck back up? Good for me. Now here's the sound. Wow. Big, big sounds. Now, you ask, what is the application for a guitar that sounds like this? Applications-wise, there's anything you play instrumentally is going to sound fine because all of the strings, even though you're tuned way low, the whole guitar is tuned way low, they're all in the usual relationship to each other. So you can play your regular chord shapes, it'll play just like a guitar instead of a baritone guitar, but it'll sound really low. Inspiration comes from having different sounds, with you playing the same shapes but having different sounds come out of the guitar. A lot of people use baritones to sit between a regular guitar, in a group setting in particular, to sit between a regular guitar and a bass. You know, it sits real nicely there. You've got some transposing to do because all of a sudden, this shape right here is not an E chord, that's a B chord. So you've got some transposing to do. But once you get your transposition set and get your chord shapes all straightened out, adjusted for the tuning, you can sound fabulous with somebody else. Instead of having two guitars kind of in the same range, doing sort of the same thing, that's one of the things that I think is a step we all can take, and that is when playing with other people, instead of playing the same thing the other person is playing or something very similar, play something really different. So capoing around and using the caged system to get into a different capo position, or playing a baritone guitar where the whole range sits way lower than what somebody else is playing, is really useful. It's also terribly inspiring because you're playing your usual chord shapes, but different sounds are coming out. And all of a sudden you think, well, wait a minute, maybe I could take this here, and the overtone stack is different. The overtones generated suggest other chords and other notes for melodies, for songwriters. And just having that rumble is really cool. Stiffer to play on the left hand, but this guitar is set up really nicely, so that even though you've got huge strings on here, it's not that much more difficult to play than a regular old guitar would be. It only takes a moment to adjust to the slight extra pressure that's required. Let me take a brief break, take a look at your questions and comments, and then I'll show you the other baritone guitar, which is a Tony Yamamoto guitar. And Tony, I miss Tony. He moved back to Japan. He used to live right nearby here, and he'd bring me guitars fresh off the bench. And now he's moved back to Japan. Good for him. But hang on a second here. Swiping left to reveal comments. Hello, 11 folks. Hey there, Dan Payne. Andrew Freeman, excellent. Janine, I know, isn't that a great sound? I'll play the other one too. Similar, but similar in range, of course, but different beasts altogether. I should have showed you the woods here. Should have shown you the woods here. Sister Godzilla Marie was just slapping me on the ear. Mahogany, really figured mahogany on the back and sides, and kind of a bear claw Sitka top. Lovely guitar, and like I say, Goodalls all have that Goodall sound. Big, rich, cathedral-like bell tones. Lots of resonance, lots of reverberation. And let's see here. Probably easier to look at this way. Here we are. Hey, John Moreau. Sounds great. Yeah, thank you very much. What am I doing for fingernails these days? I don't know what happened during the pandemic. My nails kind of grew back, and they're solid enough. Knock on wood. I can use my regular fingernails. I was using gel nails by a company called something. OMB, Office of Management and Budget. That's not right. I'll post it in the comments below. I was using some kind of goo, some gel nail, and I had a little ultraviolet oven I'd cook my fingers in and all the rest. I don't know what it is. Eating at home, I guess. Eating good food from my loving wife, Valerie. For some reason, my nails are solid, and I can use them only using a thumb pick, so I'm just using Natch. I'm going naked. Well, let's see. Who else is here? We've got Cindy Bazan. Hey, Cindy. From Copperopolis. Absolutely. I remember you. Great. Okay, Robert Barcelos. I'll feed your gas, compadre. And let's see if I can sneak this in under 15 minutes here. No, I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. I've nattered on too long. Here is the other baritone guitar. This one by Tony Yamamoto. And we tune this one just right too. They don't have to be tuned to B. I just happen to think some people tune them to C, some to all the way down to A, you know, on the low string, on the low and high strings, I mean. And this one sharped up a little bit while it sat on a stand there. Everybody sing along. They're just a little bit sharp all the way around there. Tuners having trouble reading that one. Come on, Bessie. No, not gonna happen. thunderous. I just realized I might be overdriving the mic. I'm sorry if I'm overdriving the mic. They're loud, which is fun too, let's face it. It's a B, C, C sharp D. That low D just was rattling my lungs and my chest, which feels good. Do it again. Oh yeah. Wow. Now you do have to get special strings for baritone guitars, of course, because they're real big, long, and the scale length is really long, so your arm will be sticking out farther than you're accustomed to. 27.5-inch scale or something. Now, of course, you can use your alternate tunings as well. Pretty fun. Baritone guitars today, folks. This is a Tony Yamamoto, and this one runs for $5,800. This is a brand new instrument, unowned, unpreviously owned. And this is the James Goodall baritone guitar, $4,400. Kind of hear the difference in woods here. This has got this real cathedral bell-like sound that you get with really good East Indian rosewood. And this one's more mahogany sounding, a little more direct, a little more fundamental, a little quicker decay, a little more punch though. This one's got the big washy cathedral reverberant tones. This one's got a little more punch. Yeah. Guitars both. Come and get them. I'm in bucolic Lafayette, California, just on the other side of the Berkeley Hills from Berkeley. And on your way, I'm through that tunnel. You know that tunnel you've been through a couple times? I'm through that tunnel and on your way out to Walnut Creek and Concord and all those mysterious East Bay places. Lafayette, this little bedroom community nestled in the hills between Berkeley and Walnut Creek. the home of lots of kids, many of whom you can hear outside here, rehearsing for their little play that's happening this evening. Very exciting. So I'm going to toddle along, give the stage to them. Be right there. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. Your old pal Stevie Coyle here, tuning out from Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, today featuring Baritone Guitars. Thanks for tuning in, folks. See you next week at noon-ish.